Hey there, Smoke Master D coming at you again with another barbecue buyer's guide, this time to reverse flow offset smokers. All right, and to start off, we've got some chapter times. If you would, please like and subscribe to this channel. You see these chapter times here. If you want to jump ahead to any point in the video, please do. All right, and we're going to start off with the basics of the reverse flow offset smoker. Now, you take a look at the firebox there. That's where your fire is going to be going. The intake damper, the air goes into the firebox, feeds the flames. The heat and smoke is going to go into the cooking chamber, and it's going to travel all the way across under that reverse flow plate. It's going to come up, and that's where the grate for the food is going to be, and it's going to travel again across the chamber, but in the opposite direction to the smokestack up there, where there's going to be an exhaust damper. Your food is going to be on that grate. That is how that works. The front shelf, it's really strange. A lot of the shelves on these reverse flows seem to be there on the bottom of the barrel. I'm not even really sure why. Maybe somebody can throw that in the comments if you know. It seems like all the traditional flow, the shelf is up right where the opening to the barrel is, but for these reverse flows, they drop it down, and I'm not sure why. All right, and the pros and the cons. Now, I've covered quite a few traditional blow offset smokers in videos that I've made, but why would you want to consider one as opposed to the other? Now, even heat distribution is going to be one of the top pros for the reverse flow. The heat going under that plate, is going to help even out the heat distribution across the chamber, and part of it is going to be that the heat is going to go into that plate. A lot of the hottest heat, I guess you could say, by the time that it gets up and swirls around to the top part, it's going to be much more even, a little bit cooler, even from the hottest air that was just coming in. So that can be really good, and it sort of leads into number two. Even heat can lead to faster cooking times. So it's better to cook at an even temperature instead of swings up and down. Now, feeding fuel into the fire is going to still perhaps create some of those swings. You have to, know fire management to overcome that, right? And get better steady temperatures. But it's going to be more even using the reverse flow, especially because of the heat going into that plate, creating the radiant heat. So let's jump over here to cons. You're going to notice, wow, the first con that you have there is the same as the first pro, even heat distribution, right? Now, there's a lot of people who don't want an even heat distribution throughout their cooking chamber. The whole idea of a two-zone cooking, the idea of cooking some things at one temperature and some things at another, you can't really do that in reverse flow very well, right? Say that you want to have, your low and slow cooking on one side, your brisket or your pork butt, and then you want something on high heat like the chicken over there near the firebox. There are people who want uneven heated cooking chambers. The first time that I even thought about the workhorse pits, I thought to myself, wow, they've engineered out one of the main driving factors of having a traditional flow smoker, right? Because the workhorse pits has even heat distribution through their chamber. So the second con here, more radiant heat cooking and less convection cooking, right? So you are going to have convection cooking in a reverse flow, but that huge plate that is evening out the temperatures, it is going to be taking in a lot of heat, and that heat is going to radiate out. And radiant heat is via, photons, just like light, right? It travels in straight lines. The closer you get to a fire, so when you stand around a fire, pretty much all the heat that you're getting is radiant heat. You're not getting hot air from the fire heating the air as much, when you're standing around a campfire. The front of you that's facing the fire gets hot. The back side that's not facing the fire doesn't get hot. That's how radiant heat works, right? So you have that plate, it's going to have a lot of radiant heat, and however close it is to your meat there is going to determine, or how much radiant heat and radiant cooking you're going to have. Okay. So I think in these reverse flows, the bottom side of what you're cooking, if it's right by the plate, could be cooked more by the radiant heat, and the top of what you're cooking by the convective heat, through the hot air coming around. So it's a different dynamic. Is it bad? No. If your food gets cooked, it's fine, right? But from the traditional flow smokers, if you want just convective cooking, which has to do with bark formation and stuff like that, some purists think that traditional flow will be better. So it's not bad, but it's just what it is. And then for the pros, the last pro that I have here, the heat plate is going to vaporize the juices for aromatics. Now, of course, you're going to get a little bit of that in your traditional flow just because of the bottom of the barrel, but it's not going to happen quite like that heat plate, which is right there. It's getting really hot from the hot air coming up and hitting it and going around. So it's going to vaporize more juices, sort of like what you get in a drum smoker, when those juices are going right down into the fire and vaporizing there. So yeah, and one last con, some of these reverse flow plates are welded in. Some of them are removable though, and we'll talk about that as we go on. But they can be difficult. They can make cleaning difficult. You have to get up under there. It's just one of those things that is a minor inconvenience, but it is something to consider. All right, and like we usually do, we're gonna have the maps here, and we do the maps just because location and proximity are so important to the price that you're going to pay for shipping. So just something that you want to try to figure out how close you are to some of these builders that we're going to be talking about. Now we've got Cat over there on the west coast in California. Okay, there are probably more builders in California, but we'll talk about that in a second. Furthest north in Knoxville, we have the Metal Guys, Knoxville, Tennessee. Shirley Fabrication in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, down there. And then Lang is going to be in Nahunta, Georgia, down further in Georgia there. Now, Meadow Creek, they use a dealership model for what they do. So they have dealers all around the country. That's going to make them very accessible to a lot more people just using that dealership model. They do not sell directly like the other companies. So you're going to want to find your most local dealer. I used Sling and Steel for the prices in this episode. All right, and now we've got the HBT smokers, and I wanted to show you that they are actually sold at a few different dealerships. So you got Northern Smokers up there in Philadelphia. Guthrie, Oklahoma has Blowing Smoke Cookers. Down near Mobile, you've got right behind you Trailers. HBT Smokers, they actually do sell direct. I'm going to be using the prices from Sling and Steel just because even though it's slightly higher than HBT Direct, their policy for shipping at a set price really makes them maybe the most attractive dealership of the HBT smokers. So it's $200 to your door. It used to be $100. Shipping prices have gone up. It's just how it is. But yeah, and I think that's, anywhere in the United States. So if you are somewhere besides right next to Northern Alabama, it might be the best option. So anyways, they're the prices I used. I used their pictures too. So I thought I better give them a shout out. Now, one thing that I want to say before we go on is I'm not covering all of the reverse flow smoker builders out there. There may be one close to you that could give you a better deal. And I've made two videos that may help you find one of those people. So this one on the left, Offset Smoker Builders of the United States and Canada. I put in a list of a lot of smoker builders. There's a reverse flow section. It is by geography. So wherever you live, you can go to that place in the video and see who the reverse flow smoker builders are near you. And it's definitely worth pricing that out. Uh, also with these builders that I'm featuring. So keep that in mind. The 20 most popular reverse flow countdown that I did, look at numbers 20 through 11. I pretty much cover almost all the ones in 10 through 1. Okay. Hamrforge. Well, I really wanted to include Hamrforge in this video. I really did. But I just couldn't. I tried to find a way that you could get a Hamrforge here in the United States. They also are trying to use this dealership model just like Meadow Creek, and it seems like they might have even set it up. If you go to Hammerforge USA and you look in their dealership page, you'll be like, wow, there's a lot of dealers here in the United States. I contacted many of them. They do not sell Hammerforge anymore. I could not find a one. I didn't do all of them. And I don't know if it was because at one point there were tariffs on Canadian steel. It's a Canadian builder, right? And it's such an iconic design, really, for a reverse flow smoker. But yeah, if you want one of these in the United States, it's very hard to get one. And if you're in Eastern Canada, that's where you're gonna have the easiest time getting one. But in the United States, it's just a no-go. They're very heavy, and when I talked to these dealers, they were like, "Yeah, nobody bought them. We don't want them. They're expensive." So it's just really what they should do is they should get some way to have buy direct from the dealer in the United States. And I don't know if that means they need to set up a shop in the United States to build them here. That could be it, but if you live in the United States, uh, it's very difficult to get any hammer forge out here right now. All right, and so moving right along and cooking right along, we have Lang Barbecue Smokers, right? They have a lot of options, and we're going to look at some of them. I decided to consider all these things upgrades, like the deluxe, the hybrid, and the hybrid deluxe. The matter of it is that the base is still the same. They add on these extra stuff, but the smoking section, the part that you see right there on the top left doesn't change. So it's 21.95 for the original currently and 32.95 for the 42. If you want to upgrade to deluxe, which just means that you're going to have that warming box, we're going to talk a little bit more about warming boxes later on in the charts, but it's going to be 600 for the 36 and 500 extra for the 42. And interestingly enough, I've learned that the warming box for the 42 is actually smaller than for the 36, which accounts for the cheaper additional price. Okay. So you're going to have that warming box. The hybrid upgrade actually adds a charcoal grill to the end. So you see that little smokestack there? That's going to be a charcoal grill. And so that's going to add 602 or 2000 for the 36 or the 42. And you see the prices there. And then the hybrid deluxe is going to be additional money on top of what the original is at the far left, 1100 or 2200. And the final prices you see there in the brackets, so 32.95 or 54.94. I believe those prices are without the whole wagon wheel upgrade. You see the deluxe 48 wagon over there for 42.95. I think that was featured in one of these barbecue cooking shows, so, maybe it's pretty popular right now. Alright, and here we're gonna break down a little bit more about, what we have here. in this cooker. So you see that trough style plate there. I didn't get a picture really good, so I sort of made a little model. The reverse flow plate is going to have this sort of trough. The juices are going to go down in the trough and to where they're going to collect, and you can open that drain valve down there and get them out. Uh, a lot of nice shelf space on these layings, especially even if you don't get the upgrades, that wraparound shelf, very nice there. Door latch system, so you're going to have some really tight closing on these doors. It's going to keep the smoke in. If you look at the firebox down there, you're going to notice they're reinforcing some of the steel, like with that X on the door. One thing that I did find a little disappointing is I didn't ever see anything like an ash pan for their fireboxes, like we're gonna see with a few of the other makers. I like an ash pan a lot. You know, I don't have one, but I like them. I like the ash pan just so that the ash isn't coming in contact with the steel on the bottom. And it seems like they could do something to make one of those, and they it doesn't look like they did though. Pinwheel dampers over here, so you're gonna have those on the sides instead of the back, like a lot of traditional flow. The umbrella tops, it's a really nice touch. You know, if you're smoking in the rain, you don't want rain going down in your chamber. Really nice touch there. And there is a circle baffle into the warmer. So, you know, that little handle right there just sort of turns that circle till it's, you know, a disc and letting that heat go in. And yeah, that's most of it. This charcoal grill, okay, that is in this hybrid style, right? It's not connected to the firebox in any way. So you have to put charcoal in there. There is not a side door for the charcoal. You may have watched my episodes with Gator Pit of Texas. They're, I guess, famous really for putting that side access door to add charcoal. I don't really know why they wouldn't have that with this laying if they're having, you know, you can't adding charcoal to the grill while you're cooking seems like it would be very difficult. You'd have to open it up, get the grates out, and then add the charcoal. So as far as being a charcoal grill, you know, maybe you don't care about that. Maybe what you're going to cook isn't going to take that long, but it seems like a missed opportunity to me. That's what I'm going to say about that. You may love yours, you know, put it in the comments. But that was just one note that I had there. And here we have Shirley Fabrication there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That price there, 26.50, is what I got emailing Tyler Shirley. They also said that they're working on their website. So if you go to the website they have now, they don't even have the 24 by 36 on there, even though it is, by all accounts, their most popular smoker. Very popular. A lot of people like it, a lot of people have it. They also mentioned in the email that he doesn't even know if they're making any money at that price. It is the steel prices are just they've been crazy lately. I hope by the time you're watching this, maybe if it's later, that they've come down. I hear that they are predicted to come down as, you know, supply is increased to meet demand. So let's hope that happens. But let's take a look at this thing. So the engineering on it, I think, is really good. They have put the barrel design and married it to the cabinet smoker design. Very interesting. In the right hand bottom picture, you can actually see the backside of it. You see that it is a barrel and that they weld that cabinet onto it, and that's going to give you a lot more space because the barrel, you know, that curve cuts off space, so the cabinet is there giving more of that space too. So, you know, those the racks, there's three in there. It's going to be quite a lot of real estate for your smoking. Now, when the fire comes up and around, it's going to hit the end of that barrel. It's a good 3/8 inch steel, right? So it's nice and thick. It's going to be able to take that heat when it comes there. And then it's going to go up to the top and it's going to circle around. You see, they have the stack there on the bottom. So it's going to create sort of a circular motion there. So really, some good design features, and I think that this thing's going to work really well for you. A lot of people have it, like it, and love it. So definitely one to consider. You see in the firebox there, they have a pull-out charcoal basket as well as ashtray. Oh, don't I love an ashtray? So all these features, we're gonna have to keep that in mind when we're breaking it down. Okay. So yeah, we have some upgrades here as well. The wagon wheels there. But if you look at the regular wheels, the larger in the back, it looks like they're inflatable. And those casters in the front, those things are pretty good, just as is. The bigger the wheel, the better it's going to pull, the more that mechanical advantage. And that's pretty good. You can put 550 in it and go up to the wagon wheels, but the regular wheels, they look like they're enough. If you want that stainless steel front shelf, it's 475. There's a side shelf for 275 with the paper towel holder there as well. Now the warmer is 750 extra. I asked specifically about it, and apparently it would incur the custom job weight. So strangely enough, with Shirley Fabrication, the 24 by 36 is sort of not custom, right? They're making them, they're selling them. They probably have buyers for them before they're making them, but it has a few upgrade options, and those are it. And this warmer would make it custom. I hear actually that a lot of people, they go for a custom build from Shirley, and then they buy the 24 by 36 to use while they're waiting. Like, this 24 by 36 is probably at least like a 10-month wait, right? But if you go for their custom job, it could be years. So, and then when they do get their custom job in, then maybe they resell this 24 by 36. So, when they do come on the market, that may be the reason why. And, you can keep your eyes out for them. I think some of these Facebook groups, people, Shirley Facebook groups, you might keep an eye open for one coming on sale. So just keep that in mind. They hold their value though, so don't think that you're going to be paying a lot less. Okay. So there it is, the 24 by 36. And now we have the metal guys, right? So up there in the left-hand side, we have the Heritage series. The reverse 36 is going to be 1999.99. Then the reverse 48 underneath is going to be 22.99. If we go over here, we've got the Copperhead series. They do have some, larger sizes in this, but we have the Copperhead 40 for 2,499. And then really the Fridge 36, I threw this in there just because of the cabinet style of the Shirley, but I d- it's here. I have it. And we're gonna take a look at it. But uh cabinet style is a little bit different from what we're really looking at, but there it is. And it's 29.99.99. We're gonna take a look at these a little bit more closely. I think the standard thermometers are gonna be that lava lock. They have a rod connecting the hinges. And not even sure if is that necessary? I mean, it's not something you see on a whole lot of smokers. Does it give the hinges more stability? I guess so. But interesting nonetheless. So this Heritage series is the tubing, the steel tube. We are going to see some upgrades on the next page. One thing that the metal guys do is removable baffle plates. So if you're concerned about cleaning your smoker and having those baffle plates in the way, the metal guys, they have you covered there. So we also see, and I believe in this Heritage series, these shelves are fixed. They have a handle, pretty good, pretty long design there. And but the Copperhead series, there are some definite upgrades, right? So fold down shelf, so that's a little bit different from the Heritage. Octagonal shape, right? That chamber there. just like we were talking about with the Shirley with the square design, it's going to open up some space for more cooking area. Okay, so squares and things that are boxy, there's just more room in them than the curve of that circle, right? So it's going to be good for real estate. The other thing is the size of that firebox really increases. So it's going to be 23 by 23 by 22. So a lot bigger there. And to sweeten the pot for the Copperhead, they have the griddle top, a grease drain, really nice slide dampers on the side. A whole lot to like about this Copperhead reverse flow smoker that they have from the Metal guys. And let's take a look at some of the upgrades. I think their fire management basket is a really popular one. It's 119.19. Now, remember that some of the previous ones it was included, right? Fire management baskets included, I think, in the Shirley and the Lang. If you want 1-inch insulated in the firebox for the Copperhead, it's going to be $6.99. 2-inch insulated for the Heritage, it's going to be an extra $5.99.99. So yeah, a lot of people do like insulation. If you live in the cold, you want to use less wood, any of those things. I don't think it's really necessary, but people do it. Wagon upgrade, so you got those wheels there. It's almost a full thousand, 999.99. Then if you are in the Heritage series and you want that Copperhead firebox, upgrade is going to be 449.99. So you see that there. They do custom steel logos, so about 200. Now, this hot box, so if you want it on the Heritage series, apparently you have to do the upgraded Copperhead Firebox 2, right? You can't do it without it. Then it's going to be 1399.99 for the Heritage, but for the Copperhead 40, it's just going to be 1149 since they already have the upgraded Firebox, right? Now, this hot box is huge, really. The fact that they add the word pizza oven to its description, yeah, yeah, you could cook some pizzas in there, right? And you see they have the dampers there on the top of the thing. It looks like an exciting option. I'm not gonna lie. It looks really cool. I would definitely think about it. I know it's expensive, but wow. All right, and now we've got Meadow Creek. So I have covered them before when I did my COS episode. And the reason, of course, for their coverage there is that tank, and so this is called the TS70P. TS does stand for tank smoker. The tank is actually 3/16 inch steel, which is a 16th inch less than the golden standard of a 1/4 inch steel, right? And it's not a huge deal, which is why I'm still happy to throw them in this episode, right? But let's take a quick look at it, even though we've seen it before. We have those nice door clamps, racks, a lot of similarities here to some of the other ones, just in design. The larger wheels on back and casters up front, like the Shirley Firebox, similar to Lang, as well as the metal guys with those slides there, like the Shirley as well. You go up there, you got the charcoal basket as well as the slide out ashtray. So nice that way. But what you will see here is that the price is very high. Now, why is that? And this is a price I got from a Sling and Steel. So remember, they do have a dealership model. Prices, I do believe they get price suggestions from the company. So they're pretty standard across the board, really. Sling and Steel, though, they do have, I think, a central location. They offer $200 shipping to your door, which I don't know that everybody does that. So, and they didn't say like that was for different areas in the United States. I think it's 200. So, it's nice to know that cost just up front. The real reason it's so much more expensive is all that stainless steel. The racks, stainless steel, the door clamps, the handles. Okay. A lot of stainless steel here, and stainless steel is more than carbon steel. Therefore, the price is higher. Unfortunately, there's not really a way that we can account for that in the charts that we're going to be doing. So, if stainless steel is what you want, keep that in mind, and maybe this just is the best option if stainless steel is your game. So there you go. And now for a few upgrade options. There is quite a long list of upgrades that you can get for this Meadow Creek smoker, and I'm on Sling and Steel Customs website here. Ones that I find interesting would be stainless steel drip pan, charcoal grilling pan, I think to grill in the actual chamber. Because their warming box has 3 shelves. We're gonna look at warming boxes a little bit later. Solid tires, some of these, they have those inflated tires. Not entirely sure how long they're gonna last. I I would think about getting the solid tires. All right, and here we have cat smokers. These do have quarter-inch steel. The 36-inch there is 2050. 48 by 20 is 2650. I didn't include it, but they have a 48 by 24 if you really want those extra 4 inches there. Yeah, let's take a closer look. All right, and yeah, they have a pull-out firebox grate. I didn't see anything about an actual ashtray. The back is where they have the slide damper here, with those 3 diamond-shaped cutouts. I believe it's gonna give you some good airflow across the firebox, so that's going to work well for you. 3 coats of high heat paint, a reverse flow plate that has the drain in the center, so a little bit different from ones like Lang, and I think also from Shirley. It's a pretty standard design for what it is. You can go look at the options there for upgrade, custom grates, burn box. Now, I I do not know what that really means, a charcoal burn box. Would that be on the side? Maybe I need to look into that. The drain ball valve, if you want powder coating, it's extra. Vertical smoker, vertical warmer box, we're gonna look at that. Wheel kit is, I'm guessing it's gonna be their wagon wheels, but when I saw that, I just knew that I had to do a screenshot and put it in here because wheel is just it's a fun word, wheel kit, which, I don't know if they meant to say wagon wheel, but wheel it is. Right, and now we have this HBT smoker, the Chub Smoker. It is sold from a few different dealerships we saw in the map section, and we've got the price here from Sling and Steel, 2,900. So some interesting features here. You see those dampers on the back side, sort of turn dampers. It's got that diamond shred steel. If you look up here at the top right, you can actually see the reverse flow plates that are removable, and it has a charcoal rack in the main chamber so that you can use this as a grill as well as a smoker, by cooking right there directly in the main chamber. Now, the firebox has a double wall air gap insulation. So there's not any actual insulation like you have in the walls of your house kind of stuff, the fuzzy stuff, whatever it is just an air gap in there. But air is actually one of the most insulative things that there is. Even that fluffy stuff, it insulates because it has little air pockets in it. So really, it's going to work pretty well for keeping your hand safe if you're touching, the sides, and it's probably going to use less fuel. One thing to note though is that top is not insulated. They left it uninsulated so that it can be a pot warmer. You could probably heat some other stuff up there on the top as well. Looks like a really solid smoker from HBT, the Chub. And now it's time for charts. All right, so we've got smoker price here. The metal guys, Heritage 36, Cat 36, Lang 36, Heritage 48, Copperhead 40, Shirley 2436, Cat 48, that HBT Chub, TMG Fridge 36, the Lang 48, and lastly, with all that stainless steel, the Tank Smoker Meadow Creek 70. All right, and now for cooking space, Lang 36 has the least. The Meadow Creek after that, so being so high priced, we get to dollar per square inch. It's going to do really poorly, unfortunately. The Cat 36, the Chub, the Heritage 36, the Cat 48, the Copperhead 40, Shirley 2436, the Lang 48, the Heritage 48, way up there. And then, of course, the Fridge 36. That's why you have a cabinet smoker, right? Because it's going to have all that space. All right. So now we've got that dollar per square inch. The Heritage 48 coming in at the lowest, 36. Fridge 36 after that, 39. Copperhead 40. The Heritage 36. The Shirley 24 by 36. So 166 for the Shirley. Not a whole lot higher than these other ones. The Cat 36 at 182. Cat 48. Lang 48. Then the Lang 36, reverse in trend there of the smaller being more expensive per square inch. The Chub up there at 278, and then the Meadow Creek, that stainless steel. All right, and now we have the approximate weight in pounds. Now, the one thing about these weights is that they are approximate. Some are less approximate than others. The Meadow Creek, I believe they have actually weighed it. They put that 535 number on their website. But then you get, ballpark approximations. Wanted to show you this. So I asked HBT directly about their Chub. They said 700. I asked Sling and Steel. They said 650. And I decided to cut the difference at 675. So it's probably not exactly right, but it's close. So that's what we got there. But yeah, the Cat 36, the lowest, Cat 48, the Meadow Creek 70, the Heritage 36, Lang 36, the Chub, Heritage 48, Lang 48, Copperhead 40, the Shirley 24 by 36 is pretty weighty, equaling out about to that Fridge 36 there too. All right, reverse flow, dollar per approximate pound. Wow, the Heritage 48 still doing really well, 307. The Heritage 36 just after it. The Shirley right next. So a lot of good metal on that Shirley 312. 312 also for the Copperhead 40. Lang 36. The Fridge 36. Lang 48. The Chub. Cat 36. Cat 48. And of course last, the Meadow Creek. Then, I like to average the dollar per square inch and the dollar per pound just to give sort of an overall estimate of quality there. And we've got 221 on that Heritage 48, 235 for the 36, 237 for the 40, 239 for the Shirley, and 246 for the Fridge. So, really, all of these first five are rather close in value. Then we go up to the Lang 36, then 48, the Cat 36, then 48, the Chub, and then lastly 70 for Meadow Creek. Do remember, however, that these, all these factors that we're looking at don't take into account all the sort of the features. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. All right, and now we're doing the price with the wagon wheels. So we're going to do that as well as the hot box here in a second. Lang 36 at 27.95. The Heritage 36. See, I've got a picture of it with the wagon wheels, so that's nice there. 29.98. The Shirley, I've been using that same picture with wagon wheels this whole time, but now it's actually with wagon wheels, so 3,200. The Heritage 48 and 32.98, Copperhead 40, 34.98, Lang 48, 38.95, Cat 36, 3,900, the Fridge 36 at 39.98.99, and lastly we got that Cat 48 at 4,500. All right, and now we've got the Wagon Wheel average dollar per pound and dollar per inches squared. So I decided to throw these numbers into there. So it's not going to add in the weight of those wagon wheels, but strangely enough, the Shirley jumps right in. I don't know if their wagon wheels are less than the other ones, or maybe it's just because their regular wheel setup has those bigger wheels, and the metal guys, those 5-inch casters are probably a lot cheaper there, so takes more to bump it up. But yeah, so the 48 there, 317, Fridge 36, 328, the Copperhead 40, 331, uh, Heritage 36, 352, Lang 36, 358, Lang 48, 365, and the Cat's up there, high on up, 629 for that Cat 48 and 661 for the Cat 36. All right, then we're going to add the warmer box in there. So this is the price add warmer box. Lang 36 is going to be up there. I think that number is 2795. Cat 36 for 3,000. The Chub for 3,200. The Heritage 36, 33.99.98. The Shirley 2436 is going to be at 3,400. The Cat 4820 is 3,600. Copperhead 40, 36.48.99. Heritage 48, 36.98.99. Lang 48, 37.95. Fridge 36, 41.49.98. And lastly, we've got Meadow Creek at 44.01. All right, and then I did the same thing here. So put in the prices with that warmer box, and then take a look at the dollar per inches squared and dollar per pound. And interestingly enough, that Shirley Fabrication 24 by 36 does come out at the best deal at 307. One thing that I should remind you again about is that adding a warmer box to that Shirley is going to incur that much longer lead time. So, is that the best idea? Maybe not. Then TMG Fridge 36 is the next with 340, Copperhead 40, the Heritage 48, Lang 48, Lang 36, the Chub, the Heritage 36, Cat 48, Cat 36, and the Meadow Creek 70 there. All right, and now we've got a closer look at some of these hot boxes, these warmer boxes. Over here on the left, I think we said earlier that that 48-inch Lang has a smaller warmer box than the 36. So yeah, the $500 for it, it's 36.45 inches cubed, 4,050 inches cubed for the 36 one. It's got that nice X backing, to reinforce it. If we take a look at the Meadow Creek, we've got a warmer box, 3 shelves, 7,776 inches cubed. The Cat, a little bit more with 8,092 inches cubed, 28 inches tall. We've got that nice picture there at the bottom, and that's pretty standard for how they kind of design these. If you want heat directly from the firebox coming in, you can do that. Kind of makes it into a smoker that way. Or if you wanted to keep both of those closed, the heat rising would make it a hot box. And of course, you can get the hot smoke from that circular damper as well. Then next we've got the Chub Rib Box, 12,960. Then we have the Metal guys with theirs. It's, really large. We already talked about that. 15,870 inches cubed. All right, and the prices. So 300 extra on that Chub, 500 extra on the Lang 48, 600 on the Lang 36, Meadow Creek, 806 extra, the Cat 950, and then the Metal guys 1149 extra. Okay, and then I transposed it into cubic feet just for this next part, so you can see the cubic feet there. And then lastly, we have the dollar per cubic foot. So that HBT, so it's $40 per cubic foot. Not bad. The Metal guys, 125.16. Meadow Creek 179.11. Cat 202.99. Lang 236.97, and then 256.41. All right, and now we've got some thoughts from me. This is just what I'm thinking with all this data. You can of course come up with your own conclusions. The Heritage 48 was consistently, coming up as one of the best values. So definitely I think that it bears, some consideration. And it's very simple design wise. I like that, all of the Metal guys stuff, you can pull those plates out. I think that's a nice touch. But sort of basic in design there. The front doesn't fold down, but really if you're just looking for basic and best bang for your dollar, it looks like that's the one to go with. And especially sort of if you're on the lower end of the price range. I also think that this Copperhead 40 has a lot of value too. That octagonal shape, you want to stick some burgers on that hot plate. It's snazzier even, but yeah, it is probably it seems like a really good value to me too. Now, I put the Shirley up here because I think that it is probably just as good a value. And why? It didn't always come at the right places in those charts like these did, but it has more features, I think, for the right price as well. So it's coming with the ash pan. It's got the larger wheels, and like I've said about wheels, it's going to be a lot easier to get around those 5-inch casters. You're not going to be able to take those over grass, really at all. But this Shirley, you could. So that's nicer there. Charcoal basket comes standard. It's $119 upcharge from TMG. Still, if you're looking at that Copperhead 40, that's going to take it from 25 to 26 in a little bit, which is right at how much the Shirley is right now. So the Copperhead 40 and the Shirley, they're very close in my mind. And really, I'm not making this decision, but if I were, I could possibly go either way on it. And if I was just going to say some stuff about the others, the Lang, they've been around a long time. From everything I can see, they're great, but they didn't do terribly well in our charts, and I can't see a really good reason for choosing them over these three that I chose. So, they're kind of out for me. Cat, if you're on the West Coast, the price for shipping could make Cat the best value for you. And that actually goes for all of these smokers. Proximity is going to play a lot into the shipping, and shipping, like everything else in this pandemic economy, has been a little crazy. Another thing to consider: Meadow Creek, if you want stainless steel, there you go. HBT smokers. Now, put a little picture there of the Chub with rib box at the bottom. If I were really wanted, a hot box on top of my firebox, I would actually go with the Chub. You know, at 3,200 from Sling and Steel, it is on the lower range, and that is still a huge hot box or rib box or whatever you want to call it. Bigger than the Langs is, you know, the only one it's not bigger than is the TMG guys, and theirs is at the much higher end of the price range spectrum. So for hot box, if you have you want to go big on it, I would go with the metal guys. But if you're like me and always always looking on the lower end of the budget range, the Chub would be the one that I would go for there. All right. If you have any of these smokers, please do put your reviews down there in the comments. You know, help your fellow barbecue brethren out. Thank you all for watching, and you know what? Go get your smoke on.